Okay, I call to order the regular meeting of the City of Aransas Pass City Council on March 7, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. And let's all rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Dear Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the country that we live in. My Father, I pray for the people in Ukraine and what they're going through right now. I pray, my Father, that leaders, political leaders, heads of state, my Father, will come together into agreement for the sake of the regular citizens, my Father. I pray for your safety will be upon them and that you protect the families, my Father. I pray, Lord, that you be with us as the city of Aransas Pass, that you keep watch over us, and as council members, that we do make the right decisions for our residents, my Father. Guide us to bring what needs to happen in Aransas Pass. Give us your wisdom and your guidance. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we're going to go to presentations and proclamations, and it'll go to Eric.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. So I see one of my individuals here in the audience this evening, and this is a very special recognition, Council, that we want to do. It's not often that it comes to our attention when a person in the community potentially saves another's life. But when we know about it, it is something that we do want to highlight and we want to recognize because especially this one that did show up today. She's a 6-year-old and her mother required emergency medical attention immediately, and she had the presence of mind under such a stressful event to rise to that occasion, courageously stepped up, summoned emergency services through a third-party call using technology. I mean, my dad would be dumbfounded and not know what to do. I would have died if it were me and him trying to use technology. You know, she did a wonderful job, and Gracie, if you guys want to come up with your mom or dad. So what we have for you, Gracie, is this little letter, Life-Saving Award for you. And I got you a little pin and patch. And also, we're not done yet. My dispatch supervisor, Erica Murphy, and one of the dispatchers, Cassie, Erica's the one that brought this to my attention because she received a call. And they got her some stuff too there. If you guys want to stay up here, you don't want to sit here? Okay, good. Anyways, this has also had a resounding impact that you're going to start to see in the community. Erica pitched to me the idea of expanding a program and basically building it out for our community to teach our other youngsters in the school how to respond in a similar situation, how to use 911. What critical information do you need to know? Your address, your phone number, relatives, stuff like that. So they're working on that program and they're going to expand that into the school. So if you want to turn around, let's all get in here real quick.
Yay. Oh, that's very nice. Very nice.
Let's get a few pictures. You're not blocking it, right, Linda?
No, sir.
Okay. Awesome.
It's precious. Congratulations, young lady.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job. That's exciting news.
That's the first one. Let me move on to the second one, Mayor and Council.
Right.
We have Arturo Castillo. If you want to come up, Arturo. Here's a life-saving award. I'm going to explain the circumstance and a pin and a patch for you as well. No, we appreciate you. Let me explain to you what Arturo did, Council, and members of the community. Arturo saw another student in a situation, bent over a garbage can. School staff, people thought, oh, you know, illness is going around, they're probably just vomiting or whatever, it's okay, let her finish. Arturo had the presence of mind to say, no, are you okay? No, she's not, she was
Oh.
choking on a mint.
Oh,
So he helped her get her backpack off, started the Heimlich maneuver, she dislodged that mint, saved a life.
Yes.
oh my God.
So,
Yay!
Wow. Good for you.
Amazing. Oh, that's amazing.
Like I said, we always want to make sure we seize these opportunities because it's not often people will step up to another in the time of need. Thank you, guys. God bless you.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Nice, nice.
Okay, now we're gonna go to introduction of new firefighters, Noah Marble and Jonathan Baker.
See them here?
Call right now.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay.
We'll go to an update on Compound Harbor Bulkhead.
He's not here unless Fernando.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I'm not sure Javier knows about the 5:30 meeting. We tried to notify everybody, but I'm not sure about his notification. If he shows up, if you're open to it, if we could get to him, because there are some things need to report to you on.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna go to board and commission appointments, and this for the library board.
Yes, sir. There are 3 terms expiring on the library board. Terms are expiring for Anita Kirkland, Marsha Wellman, and Juanita Davidson, and they all want to be reappointed.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Anita Kirkland, Marsha Wellman, and Juanita Davidson to the library board.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we're gonna go to the consent agenda. All of the following items in the consent agenda are considered to be routine by city council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of this item unless a council member so requests. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda for the special meeting of February 17th and the regular meeting of February 21st, 2022.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we're gonna go to city manager, which is consider an act and approving a temporary Compound Harbor lease with Captain Caddy for a 1-year period beginning March 7, 2022 through March 7, 2023.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a follow-up to an agreement you folks have approved already. However, in that agreement, there was no option for renewal at the end of that 1 year. If it's necessary to continue the temporary facilities we have out there, this will allow that agreement to continue, the agreement you've already approved. That's what this piece of legislation does.
Well, I make a motion that we approve the temporary Compound Harbor lease with Captain Katie for a 1-year period beginning March 7th, 2022 through March 7th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we're gonna go to my favorite item. Consider an act and amendment number 1 to the professional services agreement with T. Baker Smith for the park improvement project for a fee of $90,000.
Mr. Mayor and Council, the little background first. We went out for RFQs for an engineering firm. A committee selected the Baker firm. They're a local firm. And the purpose was to do the design work and engineering work related to 3 different items. One was the pavilion, another was the restroom concession stand, the third, the ball fields. There was a temporary process that is underway, if not completed, related to the ball fields. And for what I'm hearing, it looks pretty good out there. And the concession stands and the pavilion, that has yet to be accomplished, and that's the purpose for this particular engineering work. If you so agree, The price had been considerably higher. We brought it down to the $90,000 figure after, I think it was 140 or somewhere in there. That's a quick overview of where we are. In the case of the ball fields, wanted to see exactly if it's going to be necessary to do those, and talked with the engineering firm Baker, and they agree if it's not necessary to do it, then we won't do it. That leaves the concession stand and the restrooms, and whatever is. Then we'll know where we stand with the pavilion after we get prices on all of the above. So this agreement deals with 2 of those 3, because we won't know about the pavilion until we find out how the prices come in on the other 2. And that's what this firm would be hired to do, is work with us to go out to bid for those different projects. So I believe Mr. Steve Sinovitz is, there we are. Steve, can you come forward? And any questions the mayor and council may have. I see the firemen have now come in. And any questions you might have to see if we want to move forward. And of course, it's up to you if we move forward with it or not.
Well, first of all, I disagree with that number right there. Even disagree having to do that. We already paid $25,000 to get a little presentation that was for no good. And now we want to pay somebody $90,000 to do a so-called design, when you can literally call a metal building company that comes with a design and no charge. And it comes along with it with an engineering company for a heck of a lot less money. And this is totally completely absurd, $90,000 for them to tell us how to do a basketball pavilion and how to remodel the Little League field. Me being a contractor for over 25 years, I see this like ridiculous, in my opinion. I don't comprehend where they spend the $25,000 in. We got nothing compared to the worth of the $25,000, and then they want to come back for $90,000 for what? I don't. All is required is for you to get a WPI out of the whole ordeal at the end. Versus, and it's for the engineer company that I talked to today, it's a heck of a lot cheaper, like by far. And then the metal company that I talked to, I'll get a bid on a whole design for, including the design and everything, at no charge, as far as the design is concerned. So, in my opinion, I say no to it. Anybody else got any questions? Y'all go for it.
When we hired the Baker firm, the original amount was what, 25,000 is what Ram is saying?
What was that amount?
And
$10,000 for a conceptual study, yes.
When it came through here, it was for 25.
Our contract is for $10,000 for the first phase.
Which
okay.
we'll have to go get pictures.
And
These are projects that we can actually do in-house, to where you can sub them out individually. Like I said, first, go and in my opinion, the actual concession stand, all it needs to be done is to remodel the building. It doesn't necessarily need to be torn down. And I said, okay, tear it down. But I was thinking that it was going to be back on the ground. But you can't because of the elevation part. So it needs to stay up high. So if you look at the building, it's actually really physically sound. That building was built in '92. There's a lot of buildings around here that are a lot older than that. A roof, new siding, new steps, go around, replace the rotten stuff on the floors. Yeah, we'll be able to accomplish all 3 items within the amount of money. Get a loan for $1 million and you're paying over 10% on engineering part of it. It's ridiculous.
so when we went, go ahead.
No, I said there were promises to the Little League people also. Keep that in mind.
Yes. And spending $90,000 is absurd.
So, I'm sorry, what was your question?
When we went out for bids for this for their professional services. Why, being that it was in-house, I mean, what projects do we go out for those type of services instead of collecting the information ourselves?
I'm not sure I'm following the question, but.
I'm not sure I understand myself.
Like, you mean,
But,
how do we
I
go
mean-
about doing in-house engineering? Like if we do all the design in-house?
Well, the thing is.
What is an in-house, and that's a fair
Well,
question.
Okay, this is what I'm saying in-house. What I'm saying in-house is we get Fernando, our public works guys, to go out and literally get a bid, call this same company that I called, that gives you an actual design on measurements that we're actually asking for.
We can't
and
go
then-
to one company, Mayor.
That's against the policies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
that-
can't go to one company and
You
say, we
can't
want you to
go
do
half-
this.
No.
No.
That one company to start, you go to another one, you get 3 different bids.
No.
You can't do it.
You can't, as a city, you literally cannot go out and do a job on your own. And that's what I call in-house.
No, and you're raising a fair point. What I'm saying is, we have to do it fairly and legally.
We are.
By.
No.
No, we're not. Not by the way you're
No,
suggesting.
but what I'm saying is just fire these people and go out and get another engineer.
Well, they're not hired for the first
Well, then, we
place.
don't give them the job and go look for somebody else that's a lot less. That's what
Well,
I'm saying.
I'm trying to keep you out of trouble here.
Well, that's
And
fine.
what I'm
but
saying
I
is.
like I said, I just disagree with the amount of money paying for the services that we're gonna get.
Pretty
Now,
much
it's
you'd
up
have to
them
go
whatever
back
they
out
wanna
for
do.
RFQ.
I'm not gonna say another word.
I'm sorry,
You
Jason.
probably pretty much have to go out for a RFQ.
We do, well, if we were to go for an engineering firm, we're talking with a potential engineering firm. We've gone through that process.
Yeah.
If you're saying you want to go out
Do
with
it
a
again.
different engineer, we just can't go to somebody and say, give us
Yeah,
numbers.
yes.
We have to, we would then have to go through a different process to get a different engineering company. The mayor, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like you don't like the company. That's fine.
No, it has nothing to do with the company. It's got
It's
to
the
do with the
number.
amount of
Well,
money
I
that's being
don't.
charged
That's
for
the
the
number.
services that we're getting.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is, I want to keep you out of trouble.
Well, that's fine.
And
That's
we
fine,
got to
but
do
I
it
disagree
legally.
with it. Now, we can see, we can talk later and find a different way as far as where I can understand where you're coming from, because all I'm saying is, I say no to them and go back out and try it again with somebody else different. Not necessarily with that one person.
Well,
And the reason why I say that is because I personally went out and I called, just to know, just to satisfy to see if it's good to be able to pay that, but I don't see spending over 10% on monies that we got to be able to build something within the city, which is a pavilion, and rebuild and redo the concession stand. I don't see how we cannot, as a city, with our public works guy, go out there and say, you know what, the city wants to do this job.
All those are excellent points. As usual, you raise excellent points.
And-
What the
and
point I'm raising is that we have to be careful as far as going out with another firm, and rebuilding the current facility is not what we told people initially. That's not what we told them. Now,
So
if we
this
want to
is
go a
something to
different
go back
direction,
and tell
that's
them again.
fine, but we need to go back to MDD, and we need to go back and to the Little League people and let them know that it's the mayor's raised some excellent points. And we want to look at a less expensive way so that we can get the pavilion in. And and that makes perfect sense. But we got to do it correctly so that we keep you guys out of trouble.
Hopefully we
Okay,
can
when
find-
you're
find a
saying
better
pavilion, you're
solution.
talking first the concession
Those
stand.
are the
Yeah.
three issues we started with initially and couldn't afford the pavilion.
Yes, and
Until
I
we
would
find
like
out
to
how much is.
Talk even with the MDD board and get them to know that the money that we got, that we initially thought was enough for everything, we failed and we did not have that. So now we got to rethink it and relook at it to find it feasible to be able to accomplish all 3 projects.
I agree with
That's
that.
all I'm
I
saying.
agree with that point
That's all
completely.
I'm saying.
Absolutely. But that's a different argument.
No,
That's a
but
different
that's
issue.
exactly what I want to accomplish.
Okay,
I might have not said it right, but I said it right that time.
okay. Don't disagree with that point. So I don't know where that leaves us as far as what's on the agenda right now.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we do it legally.
Yeah, I
If the
agree.
mayor
That's
doesn't
what
want
I'm
to go
trying to
with
do.
this company or go out for bids, I just want to make sure we don't go and, hey, call, send us a bid. I don't want to go that route.
no.
I want us to go and open the bid, submit for bids like we did it the first time, all over again. And, I don't want us individually calling a company, hey, turn in a bid.
I agree. If we have to do it over again,
Fernando,
that's no
when
problem.
when we brought them on, how many different RFQs did we get for that?
I'm trying to recall.
There was
Oh,
quite a few, I think, and I think I set in on that.
4 or
Yes.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
And we advertised, anybody could have
Right.
sent a proposal in, and the ones who did are the ones we worked with.
It would have been nice if the $10,000 would have accomplished drawings and stuff like that, but it didn't.
Accomplished, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
I wish that $10,000 that initially paid out, they would have brought drawings and stuff,
They
not
did.
danced
Well, they
around
did.
They did.
They
Well,
did, they gave a
but
presentation.
Yes, but not on the one that we asked for.
Yes, they did.
Give it and tell true numbers though, because nobody went out and got no numbers for it.
Well,
Throw out a number of $1.4 million, come on.
We must have not been at the same meeting then.
Yes, we were.
Because I know-
$1.4 million is absurd. And I saw all the pictures that he took about different ones. So
Okay.
Anyway,
Well, it's
gotta
an
be quiet.
agenda item, and
yes, let's go back to this item, but that's, whatever, it's y'all's choice.
Where is that?
so do you want to delay this, or do you
I
want
think
to,
just delay and go out for,
and start over again? That's up to you.
apparently that's what.
Whatever you want to do, it's
Apparently that's what the
fine.
mayor wants to do. Just start all over again.
Okay.
Well, he did make a good point a while ago that you agreed to.
I can't hear you.
If I may,
Hello?
No,
Oh,
if I may
sorry.
speak,
Go ahead, please.
thank you. So the Texas Engineering Practice Act has a history because many years ago, they did not do quality-based selection for engineers. And they bid an engineering project in the school, and it was a boiler project. And that school blew up and killed about 230 children. And so that's the impetus for the Engineering Practice Act in Texas, which says you do not bid engineering services, you go to quality-based selection. That's what you've done. You advertise an RFQ, you rank those engineers, and then you negotiate for the fee. If you're not happy with the fee, as the mayor has suggested, you go to the second one. That's the process. That ensures that you're not getting a low bid for an engineering professional service, so the quality you need, but if it doesn't meet your budgetary requirements, then you go to the second engineering firm. So that would be your option, in my opinion, if you want to go to the second firm that was involved with the RFQ process. You could negotiate with them, and if that doesn't satisfy, you could go to the third, and so on. So that's a little background of the process. And yes, not to get you in trouble, because you do not bid out pricing for engineering services.
Same thing with attorneys, you don't do it for pricing, the legal profession.
favor of the council?
I move to deny amendment number 1 to professional services agreement with T. Baker Smith for the park improvement project for a fee of $90,000.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Okay, we're gonna go to consider an act on approving the tax.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Now we go to consider an act on approving the tax reimbursement for the tax year 2021 to DNX residents from Aransas County that were part of Phase 1 through 3 annexation in 2019.
Mayor and council, I wanted to get the official stamp on this and bring it to your attention so that there's an official action on this item that is underway. The process is pretty much underway. Sandra, do you mind coming forward? And this is part of the de-annexation process and reimbursement to those who are now de-annexed. So Sandra, it is yours.
Yes, last time that we were here, we went ahead and asked for permission to reimburse for the 2020 tax year, and that's what we did. We reimbursed $114,685.46. So what happened was that our property tax bill went out for 21. It went out incorrectly, unfortunately. It still had us as one of the taxing entities for the de-annexed area. The tax assessor collector instructed staff to tell people not to pay, obviously for us, because it was not valid. Unfortunately, there was a lot of people that just paid by mail or people that had mortgages that have escrow mortgage that automatically submitted the payment, and this is what's before you right now. So we're needing to repay those people back $31,839.19. That's what has been collected thus far from the 21 tax for the de-annexed area. I do want to say that the 2020 tax reimbursements already went out. Do y'all have any questions?
Okay, so these are the ones that had mortgage?
Most
Okay.
of them are people that did have a mortgage, or some of them are people that just didn't they live out of town, because there's a lot of people that own like second homes here that didn't realize that they were not in the annexed area, that they had been de-annexed, and they just automatically just send in a payment for their taxes, not knowing that they weren't supposed to pay.
Have a question. I know I called you about
Yes.
the escrow. Do you have any information on
I
that
don't,
yet?
I still have not heard anything back from the bank as to how the banks would handle that, because like we were discussing, what Vicki and I were discussing was the banks calculate once a year their escrow amount, so people got their bills and they're kind of, I guess, overpaying at this point for their escrow with their mortgage. That's something that they would need to handle on an individually basis. But no, I don't have an answer for you yet on that.
Can I meet with you on this, maybe?
Yes, of course. Yes,
Come
ma'am.
out with just a different, because it's something that I think we need to
Yes, ma'am.
address with mortgage companies on what they would take, because it's gonna, sometimes
Yes,
it's gonna take a
we
while
did,
before that's corrected.
yes, ma'am, we were talking, there was this gentleman that did approach us about that, and the letter that we had included in the first check was the letter that he presented to his mortgage company, and I haven't heard back from him since. Because I did tell him to reach back to us, and if he needed something further, like if he needed the agreement, the settlement agreement that had everything attached to it, we would be more than glad to provide that to anybody that needs anything from us to let their mortgage company know that they're no longer part of the city. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I make a motion that we approve the tax reimbursement for tax year 2021 to the de-annexed residents of Aransas County as part of Phase 1 and 3. 1 and 3 annexation in 2019 for $31,839.19.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, before we go to the next item, the firemen are here.
Okay.
If we could, if you're
Sure.
okay with it, if we could ask the firemen to come forward, or whoever's going to do it. I believe someone is representing the chief tonight, is that? Very good, excellent.
Captain Padron with the Aransas Fire Department. So we got 2 new guys that started 2 weeks ago. We got Firefighter Jonathan Baker and Firefighter Noah Marble right here.
Good, good.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Any questions for them?
It looks
I
like
hope
they
you'll stay around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Firefighter Baker he has some experience, RTFC. Firefighter Marble is brand new, no experience.
Okay.
Well,
I'm sure you'll
good
get
luck.
Good deal.
Yes.
All right, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
All right, thank y'all
Well,
very
thank you.
much for
Welcome
joining
aboard.
us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Mr. Mayor, want to also make you aware that Javier will not be here tonight. He does not know about the meeting. I will take responsibility for that, not making that clear, but he will not be here tonight. So we'll have him at the next meeting to report to you.
Okay.
We're going to go to community enrichment, which is considered an act of issuance of a request for proposals for the 2022 Independence Celebration fireworks display to be held at the harbor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is just an item that you do every year. We're just seeking approval to go out for proposal requests to provide bids on our 2022 fireworks show for the 4th of July, and also to confirm a date based on availability of who we would award the bid.
I make a motion for an RFP for the 2022 Independence Celebration firework display to be held at the harbor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
We're
you.
gonna go to Development Services, which is consider an act on awarding request for proposals for the road rejuvenating projects for the pavement restoration incorporated for an amount not to exceed $54,906.75.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is the road projects that we're working on right now that we got approved. We had to go out for bids because of the number. We did only receive one bid. These are the same company that came in and did Arch, Yoakum, and the Lighthouse Lakes Road. If you haven't gone out yet, if you go drive 12 or 13, those millings we're putting down, we've already started that process. They're going to come in with the reclamite process and seal it so it looks like a paved road. Now, these are not paved roads. These are taking our dirt roads in town and making them more of aesthetic, and there won't be washing out when rain comes. So we're hoping they'll last 4 to 5 years so that our maintenance drops and we save money in the long run. Once we get further into paving these streets and they get more development, then it'll be cheaper just come in with a 2-inch asphalt overlay on top of that and properly pave it. But if you have a chance to go look at these roads, you'll see the millings on them right now. We're still working on them to compact them a little bit more, but once we come in with that, this process, they're going to look like paved roads. So it'll help our residents that live on these dirt roads, and it'll be less maintenance on staff to be going out there every 2 or 3 months to regrade them.
So the streets here are the ones that are going to be
In this process,
in
yes.
this process? Okay.
And they do look great. I know the ones. They do look great.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've
Yes,
cruised
they
down
do.
them this weekend. They do look good.
Yes. When will they be able to start this project?
They're wanting to start as soon as we give them agreement to get going. They want to start, I think they were saying by the end of this month, and they'll come in 2 days, they'll finish all the streets. So we need to finish up our end before they can come in, and that's what we're trying to get done right now.
Okay.
I move to act on awarding requests for proposals for the road rejuvenating projects
No,
to
this is
Pavement
the-
Restorations,
No, this
Inc.
is for awarding the contract, right?
Yes, awarding the contract.
Awarding it to the Payment Restoration Incorporated. It's
Yeah.
not RFP.
Okay. Oh, here we go. I move to act on awarding requests for proposals for the road rejuvenating
It's
right?
Awarding,
The
it's awarding,
contract.
Awarding the contract to.
Awarding the contract, okay. All right. I move to award the contract to Pavement Restoration, Inc. for an amount not to exceed $54,906.75.
I'll
Second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we're gonna go to consider an act on awarding request for proposals for the Goodnight Ditch Expansion Project to Bridges Specialties Incorporated for an amount not to exceed $124,500.
so this project is one that is part of our drainage study that we had done. It was suggested we widen the Goodnight ditch so that it can detain more water and keep it off of the railroad and Goodnight area. We went out for bids. We did receive 4 bids. The difference between the low bid and the high bid was about $30,000. So they were all, the first and second were $1,500 off. So they were all very close. Bridge Specialties, we done work with them before. They do a good job. We recommend awarding it. It is way under our budget that we had budgeted for this project. So it's good news to us because now we have some additional funding there. But we would like to proceed with this project.
Okay.
I make a motion to award the contract to Bridges Specialties, Inc. for the Goodnight Ditch Expansion Project, not to exceed $124,500.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Now we're gonna go to City Councilor staff announcement.
Mr. Mayor and Council, there is as you can see, a workshop meeting scheduled for the 28th, and several items are now added to that. First, I want to begin with what is on the agenda. This is something you may have very little information about. There's a proposal to have a large marketplace at Com Brown Harbor. It's identical to, because it's would be done by the same company that owns the one that is at Rockport. And it attracts multiple thousands of people, which could be an issue, actually, with parking, although that has been discussed with them. They would like to come and talk with you about what they're proposing. The sales tax would be quite significant on that, but it would be at Calm Brown Harbor. They believe they have addressed the parking issue and want to find out more about that in talking with them. And when I say thousands, I'm probably understating it. It is, for some reason, I think it's like 10,000 would come through during a 3-day period, and maybe more. I think very possibly more. But he can give you those numbers if you're okay with him addressing you. That's one item for the March 28th agenda. The other is, I think the word went out about the Mayors Association meeting. In other words, mayors for this region. It's March 10th. That date is correct, but I think maybe Wednesday was referred to, when in fact it's Thursday, correct. And your own mayor is going to be providing the dinner for it. Looking for last time it was here, it was very successful, and anticipate that being the case this time also. At the Civic Center, and I think that starts at 6 o'clock if I remember correctly. There is the issue that Jason brought up a scant 10 minutes ago, which is a good point, and that is, want to talk about vouchers related to the transfer station, and making it possible for people who have not the normal work hours, or I guess normal work hours, they can come in after hours, or somehow get vouchers for the transfer station at a time that's convenient for them. And Sandra has already started looking into that, and we should have information for you by the 28th on that work session. The other issue is something that Jan raised, and that is the 25-foot lot issue. You're familiar with it. It was talked about to some degree. So at this point anyway, excuse me, the 25-foot lots issue will be talked about. It's not an emotional issue. I just got choked up there. So those are the items as of this moment. As you know, it's a dynamic agenda, and it can change, can add to, take away. But that's what we're looking at this point, all of which are very interesting items, all of those items. So that's what we have scheduled for the workshop on March 28th as of this moment.
So if you want to add anything, we just call you?
Just like everybody else, just go.
Okay.
That's
All
right. If I may go to the next item, Mr. Mayor. I'm not going to go into any detail in this at this meeting, but the administrative committee made the excellent point of asking the city manager to give a report on different things that are happening. I know you hear from department heads, and that's good. That's superb. But very possibly items that the other department heads haven't referred to that the city is working on, deeply involved with. Won't do it in this meeting, but just want to let you know at the next appropriate meeting we would be bringing that up, unless you're opposed to that, in which case I would happily not do it. But otherwise, I'll be planning to do that. And how often remains to be seen. Right now, you're hearing from the department heads quarterly, I think it is. And you can have that quarterly or however often you want it, but that would be at the next appropriate meeting. So anyway, that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Now we're going to go to citizen comments. Citizen comments are intended for the matters that are not scheduled in the agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes and state your name and address for the record. Be advised that the Texas Open Meeting Act prohibits the city council from responding and discussing your comments. The law authorizes the following: make a statement of factual information, recite existing policy, advise that this subject may be placed on the agenda for its subsequent meeting. No comments. Okay, now we're going to go into Mary. Okay, now we're going to go into executive session on section 551.071 of the Texas Open Meeting Act to meet with his attorney to seek legal advice on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the city council on the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Texas Open Meeting Act and Section 551.072 deliberating regarding the real estate properties as it relates to a commercial contract with 630 Ransom Island Partners LLC, formerly known as Blue Waters Partners LLC, for unimproved property with an addendum of special provisions for Nueces CAD number 380310A 28.67 acres of land on Ransom Island, Track 7, commonly known as 630 East Ransom Road, Aransas Pass, Texas, and it is 611.
The time?
We're going to reconvene in open session to consider and take action, if any, on any item discussed in executive session.
No, we're in
Just to
citizen
reconvene for a
comments.
citizen.
We're going to we're going to reconvene in open session to
Hear citizen
hear a
comments.
citizen's comment, and it is 6:13.
Tell me when the,
We're ready now.
We're ready.
okay.
Ready.
My name is Juanita Johnson, and I live at 342 North 12th Street. I've got a house at 342, and it's hooked to 346. And there's a house that it says on the door that it's 352. Did I say 12th Street? Anyway, 352 12th Street, and it's only within 10 feet of my house, and it's been hurricaned out since Harvey. It has no roof on it. It's not even rebuildable. And I just want it gone because it's a fire hazard if someone comes in, so many of them around, and I just don't know what to do about it. Someone said come here, and I've talked to several people, and they said, well, just come in here and ask the city council what to do and the mayor.
Okay. We have a demolition list, so Roxanne can tell us if that address is already on the demolition list. She's looking it up now.
I brought it up to city manager about
Oh,
Daniel Jimenez property.
It's Daniel Jimenez. There's two people on the deed, Daniel Jimenez and De La Rosa. He's who I bought my whole place from.
okay.
352 North 12th. Is it already on your list?
Oh.
It is on our list. There are some other structures that we have that are literally about to fall down that we've been looking
Yeah,
at.
but this is so close, this is like this close to my house.
Okay, well, she did confirm that it is on the list, so
See if we could move it up.
So I can
we'll
wait
see if-
another 5 years.
we can see, no,
See if we could.
no. We can see if we can move that
No, I
one
really like this city. don't get me
behind
wrong.
the, we gotta work on those other two that she was talking about, but we'll see if we can get it moved up.
Okay, it worries me that it's that close, because the one that was catty corner across the street from me burned down. Instead, it got tore down long before me. That's just what the neighbors are telling me, and
Okay.
the same owner.
It would be wonderful to be able to get the name and address of the citizen so that when we have legal hearings, we can have her testify that we impact the properties that we have.
Okay, well, she gave her name, yes, Juanita Johnson.
She said her name.
Do you need,
Contact you in the future, yeah, to contact you in the future, would you be willing to testify?
excuse me,
If we contact you in the future?
I don't have one here. I'm sorry. I'm 77 years old. Yes.
I have two.
I live here, and you can contact me. I didn't put my phone, is it on there? My phone number or my name, just my address.
Your phone number would be nice.
Okay.
He works really hard, and it's all over.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you. Okay, now,
No.
now we're gonna go back into executive session. Do I need to read the whole thing again, Mary?
No, just the time.
6 We're gonna reconvene in open session to consider and take action, if any, on any item discussed on executive session, and it's 6:52.
No action. I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.